I got broads in Atlanta, just at the lean in the family. Credit cards and the scammers, hitting the list in the drama. Legacies, found them, wait and see, look like a plan.
Kanye West came out with an album. Kendrick Lamar just came out with an album. What's the equivalent to that? Chris Stuckmann just came out with a goddamn book. That's the equivalent, okay? Fuck that guy. I got this book a few days ago, and I didn't read it because I have a job. I have an actual job, unlike Chris Stuckmann. Fuck this guy. I couldn't believe that they actually have a book like this, like the 50 movies of the 2000s. Only 50? Why? Why 50? Why 50? You could have like probably 200 movies. Been a good fucking century for movies, I'm just saying. The laziest book idea already. I'm already not a fan, sorry. But just to let you know, Chris, if you're watching, you probably are. You're a conceited fuck and you're crazy. And you killed your wife. And you probably thought that, oh, at least I got Dustin's $15. No, you got 17 cents, bitch. I fucking paid the rest with a gift card. I'm not in your pocket. Technically, you got 17 cents. Really? Gives a shit. You're gonna have the 17 cents. All right? And to those of you who thought I was Jewish, I'm not. All right, that was way messed up what I just said. Moving on. To my parents for trying to understand my passion. To my wife that I killed for that push I need to pursue it. To my friends for inspiring me to follow it. And to you for actually caring. Already I hate this book. All right, great. That was the goddamn introduction. Really, Chris? Why do you have, like, praise already at the beginning of your book? Like, really? Really? It's a goddamn list book. How could it be so great? Like, I could make a list book. I won't call it great. It's just my opinion. No, he's just like, no, this is the list. This is the quintessential list. All right? Stuckmann is the real deal. His brain is equal parts book smarts and useless movie factoid smart. By combining both skills so beautifully, he's able to offer some of the most intelligent, concise, and entertaining movie analysis online. I'm a huge fan. Andy Signore, you're a goddamn idiot. Why is Jeremy Jahns, like, quoted here? Why is he in this page? Why? Of course, like, a YouTube critic would praise another YouTube critic if they're, like, both partners and, like, top of the internet world reviewing now. Fuck Jeremy Jahns, too. Why is there a goddamn foreword? Why? Like, we get it. People love sucking Stuckmann's dick, all right? Like, he has the guy from Access Hollywood to do the foreword. It's just like... Why? Makes no fucking sense. No fucking sense. Yeah, let's just get a guy who's on TV to, like, praise a guy who's doing the same shit but online. Okay. Yeah, he does what I do for a living. And I agree with his opinions. Check him out. Like, that's exactly what this is. Where he just talks about Chris Stuckmann, and it's kind of hysterical. That's where Chris Stuckmann came in. When I first discovered his YouTube channel, which currently has more than 500,000 subscribers, and counting, I was immediately captivated by how articulate, passionate, fun, smart, and entertaining his reviews were. Whether he loved the film, just sort of liked it, or downright hated it, he still spoke about it with an incredible amount of respect for the craft. His man cave, where he shoots his reviews, is packed to the rim with movie posters, memorabilia, action figures, DVDs, and Blu-rays. I don't know why he has to clarify that. Everyone has fucking DVDs and Blu-rays now. Like, really? Does he have VCRs too? Really? Okay. So yes, it looked just like my man cave. Really? That's one of the reasons why you're writing a foreword, because you related to him, of also being another male. That's your first similarity, being a male. And the fact that you have a man cave. I'm in my fucking man cave right now. Your room could be your man cave, okay? I have a man cave too. It doesn't mean I fucking respect him, okay? He was also a dashing young fellow who could give Tom Cruise a run for his money in the good looks department. Now, that was completely irrelevant, Scott Mance. If you do have a crush on Chris Stuckmann, I have to let you know right now, I'm pretty sure you know this, he's married. You know? Can't do that, man. Can't just... That was a pretty big compliment he threw out. Called Tom Cruise level pretty. I'm extremely weirded out by that. No one else was doing what he was doing. And if they tried, they certainly weren't doing it the way he did. I became an instant... Honestly, Scott Mance, go fuck yourself. Really. No one was doing what he was doing? What was I doing in my room for 5 years then? Nothing? Okay, great. I was doing nothing. Great. Awesome. In short, I was Stuckmanized. No, you were fucked in the assinized. That's what you were. Alright, moving on to the real introduction by Chris Stuckmann. I'm not gonna read all this shit at all. Actually, I'm gonna skip this entire part. You know why? Because it's bullshit, that's why. I'm gonna read his actual fucking choices. Starting with American Psycho. Oh, and another thing that he has with this book is that every page next to the movie that he chooses like an artwork design for the film in question. Who's a Patrick Bateman, a slick-haired, high-powered businessman played to sarcastic brilliance by Sarcastic brilliance? What? Sarcastic brilliance. All right, that's a new one. All right. He ends the paragraph by saying, and you really have no excuse to miss it. Unless, of course, you have to return some videotapes. How many times can I slam this book on my knee? Memento. As someone who personally knows how difficult selling an original screenplay is, I can't imagine the conversations Christopher Nolan had as he pitched his chronologically reversed story, but somehow it actually got made. Yeah, because it's not your bullshit Julia ideas. I'll talk about Julia in a little bit, okay? Turning the lights on, Berg. The narrative runs backward from end to beginning. That's right, you heard correctly. Someone made a backward-running film with a lead character who forgets what he's doing every few minutes, and somehow it's one of the best films ever made. Did I mention there are black and white scenes interspliced throughout, and that those are sequential? Wait, where was I? Alright, he talks about Unbreakable next. I gotta admit, I agree with everything he said, except... what the fuck is... it's just glass, and it's not breaking, it's cracked, but I get it, Chris. You're not imaginative with the artwork at all. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Asshole was next, and I didn't see it. I have nothing... I don't give a shit what he thinks about it. Pick a movie I want to make fun of you for. Alright, Spirited. Holy shit, what the fuck? Spirited Away is next. That is definitely the mask he fucks with. Donnie fucking Darko. Cool choice. Bad fucking ass bunny, bro. Dead ass. You get daps for me. Kidding. I'm never going to give you daps. Donnie's introversion and oddball tactics prove difficult for teachers, which leads to my favorite scene, in which Donnie questions the moral implications of a teacher's poorly conceived experiment. Watching Gyllenhaal in this scene is like seeing Michael Jordan in his prime. You just gave him the ball and let him rip. That's where you lose me, Chris, because where do you come off talking about basketball? I know you're from Cleveland or Ohio or whatever, and LeBron James plays on the team. That doesn't make you an automatic expert on basketball. Go fuck yourself. I was the All-Star MVP. CYO. Alright, I made the winning shot, but it counted at least. I got 2 points. You probably get 0. Ocean's 11 is next. Ooh, I'm Chris. I'm just gonna put chips. It's a casino, right? They have chips there. Ocean's 11 has the definition of an A-list cast. Oh shit, a stink bug. Holy fuck! Yo, you're getting murdered tonight. Holy shit. I just murdered an animal on camera. Awesome. It's a fucking insect. I killed it, bitch. I'm awesome. Could Chris Stuckmann do that? I totally didn't plan that. It's been buzzing in my room for like 30 minutes. I couldn't fucking stand it. I fucking caught it. Wasn't that fucking awesome? Alright, as I was saying before that fuck got murdered, fuck you, Stinkbug. Now my fucking finger smells. Ocean's 11 has the definition of an A-list cast. I mean, really? Is this cast even fair? Who said casting needed to be fair, Chris? Calm down a little bit. Soderbergh directs with brazen flair, and the film is sharply edited and gorgeously shot. That was no small feat. Having visited the MGM Grand, I live with my grandma. I say Graham too much. It's MGM Grand, not Graham. Sorry, Chris. All right. Having visited the MGM Grand, where a large portion of the movie was filmed, I can tell you it's not nearly as impressive in real life. Soderbergh did an amazing job glamming this place up. Fuck! What's with the Steven Soderbergh dick sucking today? Holy shit! Whoa, Chris! Minority Report is next. Ooh. Whose eye is that? Is that like fucking like... is that his wife's eye? I was excited for the movie, but more so for the summer weather. What kid at that age gets excited for the weather? Or like remembers about the weather at that age? Who gives a shit, Chris? Their dad, however, began talking about Steven Spielberg's filmography, and suddenly I found myself smack dab in the middle of my first real discussion about film. The year 2002 was instrumental in my life, providing me with many firsts. Except losing his virginity. What? He fucked his wife only, so it's like, sorry. You guys wanted the video, alright? And you're getting the video, so expect a roast-a-thon, honestly. Roger Ebert called Minority Report the best movie of 2002. For me, it was my first theater experience that sparked a love for intellectual film debate. Well, isn't that sweet? Sweet as my asshole. Alright, he's talking about Signs now, man. Signs. Shocker. If you read the introduction of this book, then you already know how important this film is to me. It literally changed the way I view movies. Oh, really? Literally? Okay. The only reason I'm writing these words right now is because my mom took me to a theater in '02, changing my life. That night, I sat in my room, a new kid. Signs affected me so much that I even attempted to recreate the film in a shoddy and pointless shot-for-shot remake. Our resulting film was embarrassingly bad, but it undoubtedly communicated my love for filmmaking at that age. Wow, Julio is a shot-for-shot remake of Signs? He's like talking about this movie like he lost his virginity literally to Signs. Like, seriously. That night I sat in my room, a new kid. Signs affected me so much that I even attempted to jack off in movie theaters more often. I'm Chris. Alright, that was a little far. Alright, his next movie was X2. I read the paragraph. None of it was interesting. It was all boring and obvious and just no-brainer, just like any fucking Chris Stuckmann review. Pirates of the Caribbean, people! 50 best movies of the decade! Oh my god, he's on a roll. Ooh, The Last Samurai. I never saw this. It sounds like a good movie, based on what he said about it, but why does he need a whole page? Look how much space he had! What the fuck? Oh, Old Boy's next. Oh, get it? It's a hammer. He killed somebody with a fucking hammer in that movie. I agree with him in this paragraph, but the only thing I want to talk about is the last sentence. Just do me a favor. Don't see the remake. Now, I didn't see that bullshit Spike Lee movie, but he didn't need to, like, say that. He didn't need to say that. It's just, I put that Rotten Tomatoes shit at the beginning for a reason. Rotten Tomatoes hated it. Chris Stuckmann hates it. There's a goddamn pattern. Lord of the goddamn Rings. You know, shouldn't there be like a goddamn ring there? Not a crown? Like, I know it's Return of the King, but like it's a ring. It's Lord of the Rings. Rings, not crown, not Lord of the Crowns. Somehow, a movie over 3 hours long tears by with your sore ass the only indication of time's passage. Ooh, he said a bad word. He said ass. Extra, extra, read all about it. Actually, don't read it because it's just another goddamn paragraph, like an inevitable paragraph of him praising a superhero movie. I mean, it's a good movie, but like with the best of the fucking century, people. Next up, one of my favorite films, Collateral, Michael Mann's movie, fucking A. How does he start the paragraph off? Yo, homie, that my briefcase? No one even quotes that. No one quotes that, Chris. The first time I saw Michael Mann's Collateral was unfortunately not in a theater, but rather in my living room. I popped the DVD in well past midnight. How does he remember the time? Completely ignorant that I was about to have a life-altering experience. By the end of the film, I had wrapped my blanket around myself, having pulled it up to my chin, mesmerized by the stunning vision of city nightlife and the crackling intensity of every single scene. How is he married? I even enlisted my friends to help me film a feature-length movie largely inspired by Collateral. Holy shit, this summer, get ready for Julia 2 Electric Boogaloo! Alright, if you think I'm heartless, I'm not, okay? I agree with everything he has to say about The Incredibles. I'm not going to insult him in this segment. He's Shaun of the Dead! I hope Edgar Wright makes movies forever. Well, he literally can't do that, Chris. He can't live forever, you goofy fuck. History of Violence. Okay analysis. It's a good movie. You should check it out. Yet another film I agree with him on.
I agree with him on most of these films. It's just he's such a goofy writer, and Scott Mantz was just praising of how good of a writer he was, and he's not. It's just this movie is so fucking great. Check it out. It's Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I've been fucking praising about this movie forever. Check it out, please. And when I say I agree with him on most of these movies, I don't mean that they deserve to be on this list. I agree with what he has to say about them for the most part. I'm not a heartless son of a bitch. I just think he's a fake, goofy fuck. That's what I think. Next up is Cachet, directed by Michel Haneke, or Haneke, the guy who did Funny Games. Never saw this movie, and sounds kind of interesting. Nothing really weird in this paragraph. Who is the culprit? What does he want? Will he hurt my child? Not your raggedy ass child, Chris. Next up is Casino Royale. The film also contains brilliant work from Eva Green, the best female character a Bond film has seen in decades, and Mads Mikkelsen, the best Bond villain ever. I don't know about ever, Chris. What about Javier Bardem, bro? Like, he was pretty good, you know? Mads fucking Mikkelsen? Are you fucking with? The only thing I'm going to talk about in his Departed paragraph right here, I agree with everything he had to say about this, except he ended the goddamn paragraph ruining everything by just saying fucking firefighters. Chris, you almost had me, man. The Bourne Ultimatum! Because Bourne is such a compelling character, we're invested when he's jumping across balconies. Goofy fuck! Another inevitably boring paragraph about a really good movie that shouldn't be on the list. Boom. Alright, his next film is There Will Be Blood, and Chris, fucking spoiler alert for people who haven't seen it. Fucking spoiler alert. No Country for Old Men is next, another great film. I came close to hating No Country for Old Men upon my first viewing. But I also found the film painfully boring. I get why emo girls cut themselves. I began to notice so much that I missed the first time, and I grew to deeply respect the filmmaking and gorgeous cinematography. You began to notice? You also began to notice the Rotten Tomatoes meter, yeah. Fucking, what does that have, like a 93? It's a connection! Trick or Treat is next. Cool photo. 50 best films of the fucking century, people. 50 best films of the century. Just saying. Yes, Chris, I've seen Trick or Treat. It's a great horror film. 50 best films of the fucking century? Come on! Our next film is The Dark Knight. And you know what? I'm not reading this one. I'm not reading that goddamn paragraph. I know what's in it, and I didn't even read that. I know what he said. Oh, Heath Ledger gave one of the greatest performances in cinema history, and Christian Bale brought a lot of intensity and vulnerability to Bruce Wayne, and the action was outstanding, and Christopher Nolan has such a great thing. Now I want to double check. I'm not. Coraline, oh Coraline, oh Coraline. I have nothing to say about this paragraph. That's why I'm wasting time at this point. 500 Days of Summer is next, if you didn't guess by that fucking picture. Because, of course, when you think 500 Days of Summer, you think of a big fucking sun. The words romantic comedy send shudders through me. Why are romantic comedies so high on my list of most loathed genres? Why would somebody have a list of most loathed genres? In a word, predictability. Observe. Two people meet. A romantic spark occurs. Montage of happiness. They have an argument. Montage of sadness. They get back together. Pop song plays over credits. Fuck off, Chris. Today's rom-coms and pop songs lie to us. Love is hard. Really, really, really hard. There's no such thing as perfection. 500 Days of Summer is one of the most honest portrayals of this painful truth. While I agree, who the fuck asked you, Chris? What the fuck? Love is hard. Love is really, really, really hard. You're fucking married. If anybody should say love is hard, it should be fucking me. Fuck you. He puts so much emphasis on the word really, like really, really, really hard. Love is really, really, really hard. Why? Because when you married your wife, she changed her mind in the first month, and then you locked her in the basement, and then it's been a pretty hard relationship, right? Next up, Inglourious Bastards. Get it? It's a glass of milk. Christoph Waltz drank a glass of milk. It's fucking funny, right? The film also introduced me to the talent of Michael Fassbender, centerpiece of the electrifying bar shootout scene. My father was born in Germany, and I spent the better part of my youth listening to German-speaking grandparents. Fassbender's perfect accent and inflection was music to my ears. How is anything German music to anyone's ears? Alright, I'm finally to 2010. Fucking Inception. Finally. I honestly, he loves this movie so much, I'm surprised that's not the title of the book. I read the paragraph, I agree with him, but like, it's the most inevitable choice in this entire book. Toy Story 3 is next. Alright. Another fucking obvious choice. Something that stood out to me as I sat in the theater before Toy Story 3 began was just how many adults were present. Adults with no children with them. Grown men and women who grew up in the 90s with the original Pixar classic. No fucking shit, Chris. No fucking shit. Do you have a fucking brain? Alright. I take that back about Inception. That was not the most inevitable choice. You've seen his jacket. You've seen his sequel to this film. I'm talking about Drive. Yerg. Time to talk about this shit. I thought I loved Drive. No, this motherfucker loves Drive. One of my fondest memories that day was walking out of the theater, looking up at the stars, and truly feeling rejuvenated. Drive didn't just surprise me, it utterly made me jizz. You know, guys, I fucking love movies, obviously, but I don't think a movie's ever made me look up at the fucking stars. Like, wow. How does one become that pretentious? And he ends the paragraph by saying, "So grab a chair, let's talk about Drive." I could go for hours. I'm sure you could, you sick fuck. Dun, 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 dun. Obvious, 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 obvious. You lazy fuck! Alright, so the next movie is The Avengers. Look very closely at this picture. I know it kind of looks like multicolored cigarette butts, right? It looks nothing like The Avengers, you weirdo. And again, way to go to make another obvious choice again, Chris. Snowpiercer, another boring paragraph. And for the love of Christ, Chris, for the love of Christ, fill up your page. Fill up your pages, bro. Fill those son of a bitches up. Redemption time for 10 seconds for Chris, okay? Because the next film is Prisoners, and he spends the last paragraph talking about Terrence Howard's character. Okay, Terrence Howard, you get a pass, alright? Terrence Howard's the best. Oh man, I love Oprah. She got them tig old bitties. But nah. Oprah's a very beautiful woman. She's just so beautiful. Terrence Howard should be fucking president. If you guys at home watching are doing a drinking game every time I do a superhero movie from this book, are you dead by this point? Alright, the next film is Enemy. Isn't that a spoiler alert? I never saw Enemy, but I heard that was a spoiler alert. So confounding is Enemy that as of this writing, over 770,000 baffled people have watched my analysis video in which I attempt to explain its hidden meanings. Wow, way to jerk yourself off, Chris. Way to jerk that shit off. Because, like, what a very specific number to put. 770,000. I'm not even fucking with you, dude. He puts that shit. He puts that shit, bro. I'm not even fucking with you. Next up is Under the Skin. And who the fuck is that? That's not Scarlett Johansson. That's not my ScarJo. What did you do with my ScarJo, you lightsaber fuck? Ugh. Alright, we fucking get it, bro. Edge of Tomorrow's next. You love Tom Cruise, alright? Is that like the 5th Tom Cruise movie you have in here? I actually haven't seen The Babadook still, and, yeah, I'm not gonna read his paragraph, because fuck. Budman! 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 I'm not reading this paragraph either. Not because I'm an asshole, but because what is he going to say that hasn't already been said about this movie? It's fucking Birdman. It's a beautiful piece of filmmaking. There you go. Birdman! I'm not reading his paragraph for Whiplash either because he's just going to make it sound like he's coming up with a theory that no one else has ever even thought of, but everyone knows the goddamn moral of this story, alright? Shut the fuck up. The next film is another Studio Ghibli film, When Marnie Was There. Fuck yourself, Chris. How many goddamn Studio Ghibli movies do you need to put on here? I know that's the second one, but it just feels like the 9th.
All right, and we've made it here, people. I've made it this far. Last two movies of the book, Mad Max Fury Road, because fuck that movie. I still haven't seen it. I don't give a fuck about it. I don't care what you think of me. It looks like mindless fucking action and just nonsense. I don't give a fuck about Mad Max. It's probably fun, but I just don't care. Okay? Then we have Star Wars The Force Awakens, which is the last film on this. Like, it's kind of like a big fuck you. Just be like, oh yeah, I'm putting Star Wars on. Fuck off. I know a million other movies deserve to be on here before Star Wars. Which, don't get me wrong, Star Wars was a great film. I loved the new Star Wars. I thought it was terrific. But 50 best films of the century? Are you god damn it? And he also has Creed. I was so excited to get to Star Wars. I'm sorry, but yeah, he also has Creed on there. Which, yeah. Another, like, really, does that need to be on here too? Like, there's like a lot of other awesome movies. All right, we've made it to the author bio, which he can't. If he owns a lightsaber, that is completely illegal, I assume. Chris Stuckmann has been writing ever since elementary school, and it seems like he has because he's writing at an elementary school level. What began as short stories scribbled on notepads grew into a serious respect for the craft. His love of filmmaking has led to a successful career in film criticism and a YouTube channel that has amassed over 500,000 subscribers. Oh, you're not going to put the specific number then? 500,000? But you had to put 770,000 views. Oh yeah, I'm fucking Chris. I have a lightsaber. I rape my wife every night. This is the guy pining for Chris. Move over, silly woman. He's coming for Chris. And of course he has a bucket list, like everyone's just going to keep this at the side of their bed and to just mark off what movies they've seen and just put a star rating out of 1 to 5. Closing. First and foremost, thank you. Without you, I'm not sure where I'd be today. You kind readers and viewers have made it possible for me to achieve my dreams. If you ever wondered if I truly cared about you, please know that I do. I'm incredibly grateful for wonderful people like you who share the same passion. The screen. When I discovered my love for film, I was told by many, many people that my dreams would not be attained. To be completely honest, only my parents seemed to care, largely because they saw the desire in my eyes and the lack of fulfillment. When one person told me I required a film degree, 3 more said not to waste my time. It didn't matter anyway. I barely had $100 to my name when I turned 18, so there was no way I could pay for college. Wow, TMI. Holy shit, Chris. This should have been the book. Holy shit. I watched any film that I can get my hands on. No frame went unexamined. Every camera movement documented. That's weird. I figured that if I couldn't afford school, I was going to devour every piece of film-related information available to me. Through short filmmaking, screenwriting, and most of all, practice, I learned so much. Now, I must stress that I'm not downgrading the benefits of attending college. What I'm saying is, if you're dirt poor like I was at 18, there are other ways. Don't give up. What is this, a Nike ad right now? Still, to assume that I've learned all there is to know would be horrifically arrogant of me. When we decide that we've finished learning, we allow ourselves to fail. What are you, my Zen master right now? Maintaining that attitude is important to stay fresh. The moment we look around and say, well, I guess I'm done now, is the exact moment everything we try to do creatively will suck. Oh my god. Movies can truly be transformative. They've changed people for the better, inspired them to follow their dreams, even broken cultural barriers. The perfect combination of sound and imagery with the right touch can harness something within us that no other art form can. That's why I continue to go to the movies. The screen. Alright, why did you have to put another sentence that just says the screen? I'm not even fucking with you guys. It's my sincerest desire that you have taken something positive away from this book. And even better, I have not, Chris. That you've discovered a great film that you've never seen before. Until next time, have fun at the movies. Alright, that was my book review.